Hey, it's KK, Metal Voice Man on the Street. I'm on the streets of Manhattan today, and I'm with
Jerry.
Jerry. What are you doing here today at Barnes & Noble?
I'm here to see JJ French from Twisted Sister. A new book came out today.
Put a book out today.
Traveled 4 hours to get here.
Very good. Where are you from?
An hour north of Albany.
Wow. I'm up in Brewster. You have a haul.
3 hours on the train and an hour drive.
All right, it's almost an hour away. I'll see you upstairs, Jerry.
All right.
Thank you.
Everybody, JJ French here, so we're waiting to do the signing, and it's early, which is why there's nobody here. We picked up this gentleman on the street. Do we know who he is? This is Mr. Joe Gerber. He's wearing
Hey, Joe.
a mask because he's in the witness protection program. Hey, Joe, how are you? And this is the vinyl section because vinyl's so big these days. And let's see what they have. Do they have a great section? No, I don't think there's a Slayer album here.
No, I don't think so.
I don't think there's a Rotting Christ album here.
No.
I
Cannibal
don't think-
Corpse either.
Cannibal Corpse, I don't think so. But you know they got some stuff. Of course they have this because everybody has that. Right? Well, I don't have that, so that's a good thing. Mariah Carey, you know, Dire Straits. Okay, here's Dire Straits. You're a Dire Straits fan? They got plenty of vinyl.
Here's a great record.
One of those bands. Here we are. This is a classic.
Here you go.
One of the greatest. You know, this is the 50th anniversary, which comes with all sorts of bonus
Is it really?
stuff. Yeah, one of the greatest Stones albums. The Stones released
My favorite
4 albums in a row that are some of the best 4 albums, starting with Beggars
Back when they had a
Banquet.
guitar player in the band.
Yes, but back when they had a guitar player in the band. Started out with Beggars Banquet, then it went into Sticky Fingers, Get Your Yayas Out, Exile on Main Street. What am I
That
leaving
was the
out? I'm
run.
leaving.
That was the run.
Oh, Let It Bleed, of course. Amazing stuff. So great record. Tremendous album. Let's see what else here. Of course, you have to have this.
This.
It's one of the major food groups.
Must have.
Magic Experience debut album. Must have that. Now, let's talk about Grateful Dead. Do we have
Oh,
to?
there you
Yes,
go.
we can. Here, this Grateful Dead album. What is this? Oh,
Slipknot.
Slipknot. Oh, we have a Slipknot.
You have a
album,
metal album.
which is great. At Barnes
Very
& Noble.
good.
We have Slipknot. This Grateful Dead concert, I was at that show. I was at most Grateful Dead shows. Believe it or
Wow.
not, I was a
How
Deadhead.
could you tell?
It's,
I was a Deadhead. Well, I can tell you when I stopped doing drugs, I never saw you again. But I was at that show. That's the Skull and Bones show. Very famous.
Is there a sheet inside?
Let's see. Oh, of course we have Gentleman in the Magic. Now, you would think under B,
Boring.
it would be Beatles. So where's the B?
we got
Sure,
following.
every Beatle album in the world is here. Joe, look. Looky. Best of Animals.
Animals.
Yes, we were.
Where's Network 5?
Best of Animals, Bowie.
Overrated.
I'm sorry, not Best American Band next to the Beach
Oh,
Boys.
Hebrew, please.
Sorry. Yeah, well, that's the man who thinks Velvet Underground's a great band. So, yeah.
He likes Lou Reed.
Well, I love Lou Reed.
I like.
I love Lou Reed because guys who can't sing do Lou Reed songs, which is one of God's greatest gifts to rock and roll. You know how you screw up a Lou Reed song? Sing it on key. Trust me, people will not recognize it. Yeah, so of course we're missing the obvious, but Animals are great. Always great. Joe Bonamassa.
Joe Bonamassa's new one.
Cut out, Joe.
Oh Spark of High Heeled Boy.
I thought it was cut out for a
Oh, you
second.
thought it was-
Thought it was in the bargain bin.
Yes, it was actually made that way. It wasn't cut out.
Oh, yeah.
They have Dave Mason psychedelic album. What do you have under M? Mumford and Sons. Muse. Yeah, Muse is good. Do you like Muse, Joe?
Who?
Muse, do you know them?
No.
I'm on track. You don't know who Muse are. Elvis, of course, Ones. Obvious.
That's a good one.
Of course you have it. Oh, let me think. And Joe. Greatest psychedelic album ever made.
Some Pink Floyd.
Greatest psychedelic album ever made.
Right.
How did it get done?
Nothing without Sid Barrett.
Made in-
Piper at the
made-
Gates of Dawn.
I'm sorry?
I said they stink without Sid Barrett.
This is sick.
Is it?
It's Piper.
First album.
It's Piper at the Gates of Dawn.
Oh my gosh,
It's the
yes.
greatest.
It is
the
great
greatest
record,
Pink Floyd
great
album
record. I
ever.
think it's a great record.
What are you, on drugs? Apparently not.
I was
That's
then.
The problem.
I was then.
That's the problem. This, Piper at the Gates of Dawn. This is Sid. Come on, Astronomy Dominant.
That was when Pink Floyd was listenable.
What is
Yeah.
wrong with you, man? Okay, so this is
I
Essential
misassociated the album cover.
Essential Floyd.
My bad.
Yeah, later years. Well, I don't really care
Well,
about
you
that.
like the band, so what do you know?
Well, I know great music.
That's
Floyd is phenomenal. Floyd is
Trouble
great.
Dixie has been several times.
Ramones.
I know they have several Ramones.
Ah, there you go.
I wonder if on the reissue, if they have, you know, on the first pressing this, which is what, like 5,000 copies? First pressing had a lyric sheet on the inside. You haven't lived until you have seen the lyrics to Beat on the Brat and I Don't Want to Walk Around With You. Next to it, 3 lines each.
Wait a minute. Is it as equally erudite and intellectual as Steve Allen's reading of Bebopalula?
She's My Baby, yes.
Bebopalula.
I don't mean maybe. I hate, you know, it's funny.
My baby.
I loved Steve Allen, except for I couldn't forgive him for that. It's like Lyndon Johnson in the end. Yeah.
What's your name, sir?
Joe,
Joe, what are you doing here today? Barnes
gonna
and
meet
Noble.
one of the greatest guitar players ever, J.J. French.
Very good. He wrote a book, huh?
Yeah.
You got the book on you?
Twisted Business.
There you go. Joe, very good. We'll see you in
It's
about
gonna be
an
a very
hour.
interesting read.
Very good.
And
Hey, it's KK, Metal Voice Man in the Street. I'm on 5th Avenue, Manhattan, in the Barnes & Noble, and I'm with Twisted Sister guitarist J.J. French and Steve Ferber. They just wrote a book about J.J.'s life and the music business. J.J., what forced you to write a book?
Actually, my wife said that she was so sick of hearing the stories that if I wrote a book, she could just hand somebody the book and tell them if you got any more questions to send them an email. So she, you know, and that, by the way, is not that unusual a situation with people like me in the business because we have a lot of stories to tell. And Steve, I met Steve at a social media event. And he was speaking, and he's an accomplished author, and we started talking about Twisted Sister and music business, and we became friends, and it all kind of blossomed from there. But what Steve basically pointed out to me is if you get into the business of motivational speaking or public speaking, one of the first questions someone says is, do you have a book?
Yeah, and beyond that, it's not just that you need a book to be a public speaker, it's that the story is just it's phenomenal. The Twisted Sister story is one that very few people know. The first time I heard it over breakfast about 10 years ago, I said, that is a story that people need to hear. You need to get up on stage and tell the story because he's a natural storyteller. And you need to make it into a book at some point, but it only took 10 years from that
You can
conversation
imagine the stories
to
were
this.
voluminous.
Yeah.
It could go on for like 10,000 pages, and Steve really kind of said, you know, this. So I needed an editor. I really needed somebody to come in,
guide
and
you.
also somebody to hear my voice. If you read the Keith Richards book, which you know damn well he did not write, you know damn well it sounds like Keith Richards. My concern was telling my story and me sounding like me. And Steve was perfectly suited to extract that.
Now you split it up into two sections, right? The business section and the Twisted Sister story, and you have all the tour dates in here too, right?
Yeah, well, that's kind of like the extra added value bonus about the book that's so crazy is that yes, it's a bizwar, so there's a memoir in the beginning of the book that talks about my life and how I became the kind of person I became. Then it's lessons in business, which were a byproduct of experiences that we had. Not that we deliberately knew going in that it would happen, but it happened. And then at the end of the book, I just decided I was going to pretty much publish all the shows so people understand how hard it is to make it. And that's really the most extraordinary thing, to see how much work we did to become as successful as we did.
So there are business principles in this book, and the stories from his life and the Twisted Sister saga illustrate the story, the principles, and vice versa. So one of the ideas in the book is what we refer to as the boredom of excellence, which means excellence is achieved through repetition. And Twisted Sister played at least 9,000 shows, which sounds like hyperbole, so we thought, why don't we just prove it? So that's why all the tour dates are in the back of the book in very small font over the course of a few pages. It's unbelievable to see.
Yeah.
Check 'em out and see which ones are what.
Since my existence within the band preceded Dee and Eddie by 3 years, I already had like 4,000 performances under my belt before they even joined.
Wait, you were the original.
The original member, and then we went through several different iterations, and then Eddie came in late '75, Dee came in '76, Mendoza came in '78. So the entire history, taking you through the band members and the whole thing that happened, and all the ups and the downs, and the fact that, you know, as we say in the book, I was turned down more times than a bed sheet, and I've come back more times than Freddy Krueger and Michael Myers, is illustrated in the stories of the book. Also, we have a documentary that talks about it, but the book really fleshes out all of those stories and gives business lessons along the way, which really are roadmaps to success. If people follow them, it's not just music industry success, it's life lessons in reality.
Thank you, guys. Good luck with the book. Good luck with your podcast.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you, guys.
So you wanted to roll in and Jeff, is that right? Is that
Hold that. Oldies, hold the book up. There you go. What's your name, buddy?
My name is Mike Schnapp.
All right, Mike. Good to see you. Good to meet you.
You too. Metal Voice. Thanks for covering the metal.
Thank you.
Keep it rocking.
Thank you, sir.